Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Talking About Rock, sponsored by School of Rock, North Buffalo, where they're making tomorrow's musicians today. Also, our shows are available on all the streaming platforms, Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Amazon, and many others, wherever you get your podcasts. And you can check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel so we can continue to bring you our great interviews. And congratulations to Ozzy Osbourne on his 4 Grammy nominations for Patient Number 9. Well deserved. Andrew Watt, Jeff Beck, Tony Iommi, Zakk Wylde, Mike McCready, and everyone else involved. Just a fantastic album. Today we have for you thrash metal rockers from Northeast Tennessee, Halo Scars. Formed in 2018 by guitarist Jason Honecker, they began playing shows until the pandemic put the world on hold. And in 2021, with their new lead vocalist, Colby Delph, and bassist Daniel Lawson, they got to work. And in 2022, they released their EP, Remnants of Decay. We chat with them about this and their musical roots next on Talking About Rock. All right. We have with us Jason, Colby, and Daniel from Halo Scars. Hey, welcome to the shows, guys. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
Man.
Hey, good. Glad to have you guys with us. You know, we got 3 on today. That's great. So I guess we'll start with you, Jason, because this was your project to start out with, right?
Yes.
And I was reading that you guys describe your music as in-your-face metal. Tell us a little bit about that, a little bit about putting this together.
I gotcha. It started in around 2018. The previous bass player and I were in a separate band. Things just weren't meshing very well, so I just started writing different material. And I looked at him. I was like, "Hey, you want to come in with me on this?" So we started this project, and I had about 6 tracks already written before I brought the previous bass player into it. And I wanted it to just kind of be no real limits, just whatever we felt at the time. I mean, if it was death metal, we wrote death metal riffs. If it was gent, if it was thrash, just whatever we felt. And that's kind of the same.
So the songwriting process didn't start as like thrash heavy. It was kind of, you guys were kind of just going through some different styles at first. Is that what I'm hearing?
We kind of just wanted to write whatever we felt was good, because each of us had, coming from backgrounds of like Cannibal Corpse, Nile, Byzantine, Killswitch Engage. We had so many different styles of metal that we listened to. We said, why just stay in one little space?
And then you got Daniel joined as your bass player for the band, right? He replaced your previous bass player. So tell us how it was, Daniel, joining the band as on bass, and maybe tell us some who your influences are for you.
I grew up listening to a lot of Linkin Park, 3 Days Grace. That's what was big when I was growing up, and that's kind of what got me into music. And then eventually I got into bands like, of Mice and Men, that hardcore kind of stuff. And then eventually I started listening to a little bit heavier stuff like Dolly and Murder, stuff like that.
Who would you say like really influences your sound? Do you have a couple people that you say really influences what you do?
I mean, in my mind, of Mice and Men is a band I really like. I really like their sound. As far as their music goes, it's something I think inspires me.
Excellent. Okay, so Colby, so let's go to you. So since you joined the band, what do you feel describes the band's like live experience best? Because the music is described as in your face metal. Is that the same feel for the live experience? Would you say, being the singer?
Oh yes. One thing about us, and I've said this, I've always been more of the musician than was the vocalist. The vocal thing is a brand new thing for me. But ever since I was a kid, going to shows, seeing multiple different genres of bands, um, one thing that always stood out to me would always be like the intro of the band coming out, and then what they did from there and the build
Right,
up.
right.
And
Setting the stage, what
I've
it's
seen
like.
bands
Yeah.
that, yeah, setting the stage. And I always said that if I was ever a front man of a band or joined a band or whatever I would do, you know, it doesn't matter if somebody's going to pay $5 to get into a show or, 30 bucks for a ticket or something like that, you know, from small to large, doesn't matter how big or small the crowd is, they're going to get a show as if we were playing an arena. And that's something I stick by. And I try to, well, I shouldn't say but us as a band do every single show. And I mean, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. I know if nobody else is having fun, I'm having fun. I know the other guys are having fun, and
Well, I
I'd
know the
like to
audiences
do a show the way
appreciate
that I
that.
like to.
Yeah, the audiences appreciate that when you guys bring your A game. I mean, any band, you have to realize that you're putting on a live experience. It's not just they're not just going to hear the music, right? They're going to experience your show exactly how you said. And I know all the audiences
Yeah, and
really appreciate that, and a lot of people really don't think that when they're up there playing their songs a lot of times. But you can
and
definitely tell
for
the ones
me,
that do.
like I like when I go to a show, I like seeing the bands interact. Like I don't care if they're in perfect pitch, I don't care if they're in perfect time. Like when they're interacting, that's what makes the show better. So we did a show back in August, and there was these little kids that were there, and it was their first show, and they were having fun. Well, yeah, that was a good crowd that was there, but we had those kids there. It's like, let's make this even better for these kids. And they loved it. And I don't care how much money you can throw at us. I don't care what it is, but that stuff right there is what it's all about.
Yeah, the live experience. Yeah, seeing younger people get into that live experience, something we were missing on so many couple of years. And I guess
Yeah.
that's what put this project on hold for you guys, right, Jason? So during the
Yeah.
pandemic, you kind of started this, and you were probably kept on writing, I'm assuming, through it, right? And then you kind of had to wait, right?
Yes. Like everybody else in every other band, once the pandemic hit, all all shows were taken off the calendar. There was hardly no place that would let you in to play whatsoever just because of the restrictions. So that was a kick in the gut.
Right, right. And that's the whole reason we started this podcast here talking about rock, just to let every people know about the different bands, the different venues that are around, and to go out and support these folks, especially, everything was closed down. Nobody had gigs, right? I mean, it was just terrible for a while.
It was. There was just a very few shows of just a few venues that we would still go out and play at, and we were one of the few bands during that time period that was still yet kind of picking up and going where we could. Um, so the shows were a little bit different because there were so few people in the venues. Most of it was digital at that time.
Right. A lot of people were doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it kind of really did change how we played. Colby, for example, was talking about being in your face and things. It's one thing that I kind of related back to is one of the best frontmen we ever had or one of the best frontmen there were, David Lee Roth. He was a showman. That's
extreme showman. Yes.
And he would do anything to just get the crowd into it. I mean, in very little things he would have to do would just get the crowd just whipped up.
Right.
And that's one of the cool things about Colby is that when he hits the stage, he may be on the stage just for a few minutes, and then I look down, I'm playing guitar, I look back up, he's missing off the stage, and he's in the crowd somewhere. So it's
Yep, thriving off that energy, giving off that
yeah.
energy, and feeding back from the crowd. That's what it's all about. Definitely, that's what definitely the live experience is why it's unmatched. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the EP, and we want to check out a track from it in a minute. Tell us about the track for Lord of Hate. How did that come about?
Lord of Hate was written during the pandemic. Everything was taken off the calendar. We were frustrated. I was working a job at a time at the hospital where I would basically work a week and then I was off a week. And so I was just stuck at home during those days because you couldn't go out and do anything.
Right, right. I remember those days. Yeah. I was finding all
Yeah.
kinds of interesting things to keep myself occupied. Yes.
So I would just sit for like hours at a time just listening to all of this different music, and just I was writing riff after riff after riff, and this things, it just progressed. It's like one riff, the intro riff is what I started out with, and again, I'm a huge fan of Byzantine as Lamb of God, and it just had that style feel. It just had that kind of that bite.
Yeah,
And,
definitely does. Yeah, so many artists have said that. I mean, there was good and bad about the pandemic. Some folks, it really gave them time to be creative. You know, other folks were like, I got projects ready to come out. When can we release this stuff? And then, you know, the floodgates opened, and, you know, everybody's touring and all kinds of albums coming out like crazy. So good and bad, you know, knock on wood, we're through that, you know. But I really like the track, so I want to take a quick break here. I want to check out the video for Lord of Hate. We'll be right back here with Halo and Scars on Talking About Rock.
So this is the last one. I want you to give me all of your fucking energy. I'll be honest with you, this song drains me. It fucking drains me. Give me some fucking dick, then let's go! Lord of Hate. You're nothing more than a narcissistic psychopath. You're walking away. You were my escape. I gave you everything. I never wanted to let you go. You bled me dry. Now I feel it. I've lost my way because of you. I've lost my way because of you. I'm crashing and burning with extra failing. I am the Lord of Hate. I'm not forgiven, but I got what they taught me. In my eyes, I can see a different part of me. My whole existence involves you, but you just ruined me. You're nothing more but a narcissistic psychopath. You're walking away. You were my escape. I gave you everything. Let you go. You bled me dry. Now I feel it. I've lost my way because of you. I've lost my way because of you. I'm crashing and burning with a strong feeling. I am the Lord of Hate. Johnson City, your last fucking time. Let's do this shit. Everybody in. Bang your goddamn head. I've lost my way because of you. I'm crashing and burning with a strong feeling. I am the Lord of hell. Johnson City, thank you very much. Make some noise for Jason Honecker on the guitar. Make some noise for John on the bass. And make some noise for JP. Come meet us at the merch table. Thank you very much, and thank you for coming out.
All right, we're back here on Talking About Rock. Just checked out the video for Lord of Fate. Pretty cool stuff, guys. And looks like we have Keg now joining us on the show. Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Great, great. So we were just talking to the rest of the guys here a little about some of their influences, about some of the writing that's gone on with this. Maybe can you tell us some of your influences yourself?
Lord, there's a lot. Kind of old school and kind of new school. Honestly, the way I play, a lot of it comes from like Chris Turner from Ocean State, Alaska. I love that guy. He's an amazing drummer. He's got a very weird style of drumming. Kind of the same with Matt Griner from August Burn Dread. I take a lot from those two drummers. Kind of from the old school perspective, a lot of John Bonham. Love him. He's a legend.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Neil Peart from Rush.
Oh,
another
amazing.
Great
Yes.
influence.
Yes.
Those are just a few, honestly. I mean, I could probably keep going, but those are some of the main kind of old school, new school drummers that I kind of like to follow and kind of keep up with.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, definitely John Bonham, the icon, and Neil Peart also just amazing drummer, lyricist. Yeah, I don't know how they're going to put Rush back together. If they're going to, there's rumors that they're gonna have somebody step in, maybe do like a tribute show for him or something like that. I think Mark Portnoy from Dream Theater might hop in, but we'll see what they can do. But yeah, definitely that's missed big time in the world of rock for sure.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Let's go back to you for a moment, Jason. I want to talk to you a little bit more. So I always kind of like to feel out the different guitarists and kind of see what they like and what their little toys are. So what guitars do you usually like, or what effects, or do you not go a lot of effects, and do you do pedal or rack? I know a lot of people are back to pedal now.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty stripped down, as simple as it get. I use an Angle Savage, and it's got enough gain on tap that I don't even have to use overdrive pedals. It's just a brutal amp. Currently, the two guitars that I use most, I've got an Ormsby GTI that is just absolutely amazing, and I also use a Schecter Jeff Loomis Signature. Other than that, as far as effects go, it's just a very simple noise gate. I use a Strymon digital delay and a Blue Sky. That's it.
Nice. And for the recording, did you do that in a studio? I'm assuming you guys probably did it in a home studio, maybe, or you shared files. I know a lot of people are doing that too.
Actually, we were at a studio that is local, Asylum Studios, and Alex, the engineer that worked with us, he was really, really amazing. And it was your basic process as you would expect. Go in, lay down some scratch tracks. Keegan went in, laid the drums from there, and we just stacked it. So
cool. So are you going to be putting together an album coming out after this, or what can we expect next? I'm not sure if you're going to add anything to this. You're just keeping this the EP, I'm thinking, right, and then come out with another project or another product.
Yes, we toward the end of the year, Colby's already got us locked in for another recording session. he's been writing tons and tons of lyrics. So we've got 6 other songs that we're kind of looking at coming on board. We are going to do another release, just a one song toward the end of this year. So I think it's settled on a track that we're calling Crownless King. Is that what you got set up, Colby?
Yeah, we're gonna do Crown's King.
Yeah, and I mean all the lyrics are definitely mesh so great with the music too. It's such a great job. I really like it. And I look forward to what you guys are doing next. Do you have some dates coming up that you're going to be playing? I think I saw 1 or 2 shows maybe that you guys got booked.
Let's see. I know. Let's see. The 27th of November, we possibly got one. We're still waiting to hear everything with that one, but I know for sure December 17th, we're going to be in Knoxville at the Open Chord with Summoner Circle, Belfast Six Pack, and Blood Butcher. That's going to be a fun show. From what I can tell with the event page, it looks like it's going to be pretty popular. It's going to be a wild night.
Yeah, that sounds pretty excellent for sure. Very cool, very cool. We're really
And
like
then
stuff you guys are doing so far. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, we got some stuff that's in the works. We got some pretty big announcements for 2023. We can't release just yet.
Oh, you can't
But
share
let's smile my
with
face,
our
Jed.
audience just yet. I can't get you to give a
Nah.
little hint on anything or nothing yet.
I wish we could, but
Okay, I understand.
Dude, yeah, you just look at the smile on my face. It's big.
So that means everybody's got to stay tuned. And if they want to get updates for you folks, Jason, where should they check you out? Should they check you out on Facebook or website, or what should they do?
Yeah, they can hit us up on all the social media platforms. Halo Scars, just search us out. We've got WhatsApp, email. Any way that they want to touch base, they can touch base, and it's all available on each platform. Has the information for that.
And I know all the tracks are available on Spotify. They're also available on the other streaming services as well.
Yes, it's released out. We went through DistroKid, and so it's pushed out through all services.
Excellent. Well, I really appreciate you guys taking the time, stopping in and chatting with us. Like I said, I really like the EP. It's definitely in your face metal for sure. It sounds great. Keep on going with that. Hopefully I'll hear more from you guys. Maybe you can keep me in the loop on what's happening. That would be very cool.
Very good.
We will.
Thank you very much.
Cool. All right. And if you folks out there want to know more about us, you have questions or comments, please feel free to email us at talkingboutrock@gmail.com. You can like us and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And for this interview, it will be dropping to YouTube for the video, but also for audio with all the streaming services coming very soon. Guys, again, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.